Hello everyone. So today we shall continue from our previous lecture which was about the sampling the Fourier transform, and today we shall see the Fourier representation of finite duration sequences. Okay, so the idea or the motivation behind discussing this Fourier representation of finite duration sequences, this will give you the discrete Fourier transform. So with the help of this we shall compute the or determine the formulas for the discrete Fourier transforms or the DFT. Okay, so we begin this discussion by considering a finite length sequence, which is, let's say, x of n of length n samples such that you have xn is equal to 0 outside the range, that is 0 or n lying between 0 to n minus 1. Okay, now if the sequence of the length of this sequence xn, if it is some m which is less than n, then in that case the last n minus samples are padded with 0. Okay, so if it is of length n, then it is okay. If it is of some length m which is less than n, then the last n minus samples would be 0. Okay, now to each finite length sequence of length capital N, we can always associate a periodic sequence. This we had seen earlier, the formula of computing the periodic sequence x tilde of n from the finite length sequence x of n. So we use this formula. In fact, we have derived this formula in the last lecture, where this summation is from r minus infinity to infinity of this signal x n minus r times capital N. Now at the same time also we saw that how you can recover x of n from x tilde of n, that is the periodic sequence. So we saw that we can represent this as x of n, which we want to recover from x tilde of n over the length n. Okay, otherwise it would be 0. Okay, so this we had seen in the last lecture. Now recall that the discrete Fourier series coefficient of x tilde of n, because x tilde of n is a periodic sequence. So we had seen in the beginning of the chapter that how we have computed the discrete Fourier series, the coefficients, and later we saw that the DFS coefficients of this sequence x tilde of n are basically the samples of the Fourier transform of x of n, right? So if I say that if I denote something like this, DFS coefficient of x tilde of n are basically the samples of Fourier transform of x of n, right? This we had seen. Now since xn, this finite line sequence, is assumed to be of length capital N, so there won't be any overlap between the terms of xn minus r times n for different values of r, right? So there won't be any overlap if it is of length n, right? Because if it is of less than or greater than n, then there would be an overlap, right? So we will use another notation for describing this equation particularly. So this I can write as equal to, that is x tilde of n, and whatever is there on the right hand side I can write it as x of n modulo n. Okay, so this is an alternative expression for setting up the relationship between the periodic sequence and its and an aperiodic sequence. Now this part we can also represent in a compact way as x this, where your n, this time index n, is inside these double brackets with subscript capital N. So this defines that I am computing x tilde of n by repeating the finite length sequences on the whole time axis. So you can also have a visualization of this equation. Basically, if you consider a cylinder, okay, and you wrap a plot of the finite duration sequence xn around that cylinder whose circumference is equal to the length of the sequence. So let's say we have some sequence xn which is a finite sequence, and whatever be the length of that sequence, I wrap this sequence around some cylinder in a circular shape. So what it indicates, that as we repeatedly traverse the circumference of the cylinder, we see the finite length sequence periodically repeated. This is the idea behind computing this x tilde of n from the given uh, uh, finite duration sequence. Okay, and in the similar way, you can recover the x of n from x tilde of n by unwrapping the cylinder, by unwrapping the sequence on the cylinder and laying it flat so that the sequence is displayed on a linear time axis rather than a circular modulo n time axis, right? So this is the idea behind uh, by expressing this modulo n. Okay, now proceeding further, that the sequence of discrete Fourier coefficient, which is x tilde of k, these were the discrete Fourier series coefficients of the periodic sequence x tilde of n, is itself a periodic sequence, and this we had seen earlier also, periodic sequence with period capital N. So first of all, x tilde of n is a periodic sequence. Once we compute its coefficient of the discrete Fourier series coefficients, then each coefficient is also a periodic sequence with period n. Okay, and we saw that there is a duality between the time and frequency domain. So to maintain that duality, we will choose the Fourier series coefficient that we associate with a finite duration sequence to be a finite duration sequence corresponding to one period of x tilde of k, right? So we can better visualize this by representing xk as x tilde of k, which is a finite duration sequence between 0 to n minus 1. Okay, otherwise it is 0. And this x of k is basically the discrete Fourier transform of the aperiodic sequence or a finite duration sequence x of k. So we can represent it in a similar way the x tilde of k by using the modulo notation as x tilde of k would be the repetition of this xk, x k over a period n of this. Okay, now if you recall another thing from the analysis and synthesis equation of the discrete Fourier series of periodic sequence x tilde of n, let me write them quickly so that we can finally write the analysis and synthesis equation of the discrete Fourier transform. So x tilde of k we computed by computing this summation 0 to n minus 1 on the periodic sequence, and we use this notation wn kn. Okay, where our wn we denoted as e raised to the power minus j 2 pi by n, and our x tilde of n we wrote it as 1 by n times summation from k is equal to 0 to n minus 1. We compute, note that we computed this over a period because we know it would be repeated sequence, k0 to n minus 1 x tilde of k times w of n minus kn. Okay, now using this relationship what we have seen here, so what we will do, we will try to compute the formula for the discrete Fourier transform x of k for a finite duration sequence xk. So we will substitute this here x tilde of k, and over a period this x tilde of n would be equal to xk, sorry, x of n, right? Let me write it. So what I mean to say, x of k would be, I will substitute first of all this one, so it would be summation from n is equal to 0 to n minus 1, and let me write this wn kn. So if I write, it would be x tilde of n, right? So I have directly substituted this capital X tilde of k in the previous expression. So it says this is valid for k lying between 0 to n minus 1, otherwise it is 0. Now note this term x tilde of n, because I am computing over a period for n is equal to 0 to n minus 1, and over this period using the previous relationship I know from n0 to n minus 1 it is equal to x of n. So we will remove this x of n. So finally the formula we have this one, and similarly for x of n we substitute this x tilde of n in the expression what we have just seen now. So it would be 1 by n summation from k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x tilde of k times wn minus kn. It is again to be computed over this interval n lying between 0 to n minus 1 and 0 otherwise. Now once again using this thing, we know when we are computing over this interval k lying between 0 to n minus 1, we know that x of k is equal to x tilde of k, and here again we are computing this summation over that interval, so we can use xk instead of x tilde of k, right? So these are basically our analysis and synthesis equation for the discrete Fourier transform of a finite duration sequence x of n. So let me write them explicitly. So the DFT analysis equation is x of k computed as n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n wn kn, right, for k 0 to n minus 1, and DFT synthesis equation x of n as 1 by n summation from k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 xk wn minus kn for n lying between 0 to n minus 1, right? So these are the final two formulas for the analysis and synthesis equation, right? And again, by using the notation that xn to compute the discrete Fourier transform is x of k, and given this x of k we compute the x of n, right? So one important thing you will notice that it is basically recasting the analysis and synthesis equation what we had seen earlier for the discrete Fourier series. So we recasted those analysis and synthesis equation of the, or basically uh, this one, okay, for the discrete Fourier transform. So while recasting these equations for finite duration sequences, we have not eliminated the inherent periodicity property of the sequences. So whatever we had seen with the discrete Fourier series, the discrete Fourier transform xk, this capital X of k, is equal to samples of the periodic Fourier transform x of e raised to the power j omega, right? And if we compute this equation, the synthesis equation is evaluated for values of n outside the interval 0 to n minus 1, the result will not be 0 but rather a periodic extension of x of n. So the inherent periodicity is always present. Okay? So in defining this DFT representations, we are simply recognizing that we are interested in values of x of n only in the interval 0 to n minus 1, because x of n is really 0 outside that interval. And similarly, we are interested in values of x k only in the interval 0 to n minus 1 for k, because these are the only values needed in this equation to reconstruct capital X of n, right? So we will quickly see one of the example for computing the discrete Fourier transform of a rectangular pulse. Example, the discrete Fourier transform of a rectangular pulse. So this rectangular pulse is basically given as this one. Okay, so we are considering a finite duration sequence x of n, which is illustrated in this figure A. So what do you see, that x of n is a finite duration sequence which is having values from 0 to 4, and otherwise it is 0. Okay, so here we shall consider let's consider n is equal to 5, right, which is greater than the length of the sequence. Okay, so using that formula, the modulo formula, we can compute, given this x of n, a finite duration sequence, we can compute a periodic sequence x tilde of n, right? Since it is having the value 1 for 0 to 4, so it will be having a value 1 at each and every sample. So x tilde of n is represented by this. Now using the formula, what we for computing this x tilde of k, since it's 1, I will simply put n is equal to 0 to 4, it would be 1 times e raised to the power minus j 2 pi k by 5 times n. Okay, so it can be computed as equal to 5 for k 0 or plus minus 5 or plus minus 10, so on, and 0 otherwise. And this is what has been reflected here, x tilde of k. If you see the graph of x tilde of k, you see that it is having the magnitude 5 at k is equal to 0, 5 and 10, otherwise it is 0. The dotted curve you see, it is the magnitude plot of the Fourier transform of x of n, which is x of e raised to the power j omega. And seeing the similar analysis what we had seen in the last class, basically it is the samples, the x tilde of k are the samples of this function x of e raised to the power j omega. Okay, so this is consistent with our analysis what we had seen earlier. And finally, if we see x of k, it is contains within this period 0 to 5 only one sample 0 to 5, from which you can perfectly reconstruct your x tilde of n and x of n, right? So we call it a 5-point DFT of x of n. Why 5-point? Because we have considered n is equal to 5. Right? So this is how you can compute the discrete Fourier transform of a signal. So now let's see another scenario where we change this value of n. Okay, so changing this value of n, so we are considering the same sequence, huh? Where it is finite between 0 to 4, but now we consider n is equal to 10 instead of 5, right? So what it shows, so this is the repeated sequence the periodic sequence x tilde of n, which is computed based on the signal x of n. So by using that formula, you see that this would be the repetition, because from here to here it is non-zero and from here to here it is 0, but since we are considering from 0 to 10, it would be periodic in the similar sense. Now for this sequence, once we can see first of all this graph, okay, where both the functions are put on the same curve, x of e raised to the power j omega, which is the Fourier transform of this sequence x of n, and x tilde of k, which is the discrete Fourier transform of the sequence x of n. So it is the magnitude plot. So this dashed curve, the solid curve with the bold thick lines, it is the magnitude plot of x of e raised to the power j omega. Okay, and x tilde of k are the samples. So all these dots you see, these are the samples. And here we have shown the phase plot of this sequence. So if I remove this solid curve from this figure, so this is the left out part, the magnitude plot of x tilde of k and the phase plot. And what we need to consider for computing the discrete Fourier transform is only from 0 to n minus 1, right? And so the final plot would be this one for the magnitude x of k and for the phase from 0 to 9. So with this we call the 10-point DFT of x of n. Okay, and this is the phase plot of x of k. Okay, so we can uh, stop here for today, and in the next lecture we shall see the properties of the discrete Fourier transform. Okay, thank you.